Okay, so now we proceed to next. Now we are in week 8 eh. Ay, ulang betul itu. Okay, tak apa. Week 9 eh. Oh, betul. Okay, so for this one, we have seen how business model works, how to create business model, what are the important elements in business model and etc. So now we will look into business plan. So in this chapter 7, you will see on how to prepare a business plan. So this is the objective for this chapter. Describe how to prepare to write a business plan, identify stakeholder interests, explain how to demonstrate proof of concept, list the components of a compelling executive summary, discuss the elements of an effective business plan, describe how to successfully pitch a new business. What is a business plan? Business plan depends on your having achieved a validated business model. So you have your business plans after you have validated your business model. Okay? That has been market tested and is reliable, repeatable, and scalable because a business plan is about building and growing a company, not to start business. Okay? Business plan should be based on reality. The following tasks are a guide to the founding team in preparing to write a business plan. First, identify who is responsible for what. Make a list of everything that must be collected and how it needs to be collected. Decide who will do what and by what date it must be accomplished. So I think most of you are in your year 3 and you are doing your proposal for FIP kan? And you have been asked to have your Gantt chart, right? So in Gantt chart, you will have your start date, expected end date for each activities you are doing. So basically what happened or what be written here is same as what Gantt chart means. Okay? But the difference is that this is in a group context. For your FIP, it is your individual task, right? Develop a timeline based on tasks identified. Again, same as your Gantt chart. Determine whether all of the tasks are critical to the business plan. Prune any that are not essential to conveying a convincing argument. Hold the team to the timeline and work diligently to get the plan done. This is very important. Get a trusted third party to review the plan to catch anything the team may have missed. Okay, the third party can be anyone that you trust, and it will be better if you can have someone professional that you can hire so that they can help you to review your plan. Plan to review the business plan at least once a year. Identify stakeholder interests. Every new venture has stakeholders external to the founding team. These stakeholders view the new venture from different perspectives, so you will need to develop an executive summary, pitch, and business plan to address the needs of particular stakeholders. Ui, leceh tau. So identify stakeholder interest, investor interest, rate of growth, return on investment, degree of risk, and protection. So these are the 4 elements for the investor that they interest on. So lenders interest, when considering a business plan and an entrepreneur for a loan, lenders have a few additional concerns. The kind of positive impact the loan will have on the business. You might have heard some people when they want to start to have a business or they want to grow their business, but they don't have enough capital. So they might have option to uh, borrow from to lend from a bank ke, kan biasanya, correct? So but when considering these, lenders may have additional concern. So first, the kind of positive impact the loan will have on the business, they will look on this. The kind of asset the business has for collateral that has been pledged as security for the loan. In case you are having a problem with your business, do you have any asset that can the banks or the lenders can take as an exchange? Gitulah. How the lender will be protected if the business doesn't meet its projection. So usually the bank will ask for this. The entrepreneur's stake in the business. Strategic partners' interest. If you intend to manufacture a product or bring a new drug or medical device to market, you will likely choose to form a business alliance with a larger company so that you don't have to incur the tremendous cost of purchasing equipment or for manufacturing plant or finding expensive clinical trial. In strategic alliance, the larger company is aligned with itself with the new venture is usually looking for new product, process or technologies. So usually big company, for example, pharma betul tak tu? So they may have a lab, research lab. They may have equipment. So you as a new not so maybe 10 years yeah, entrepreneurs, you may have your own capital but you don't have enough money to buy those machines. So what you can do is you can find your strategic partners and you can somehow collaborate with them so that you can use their machines. Okay, so that will be based on the agreement lah between you and the large company. Accordingly, it will see a new venture management team that has some previous corporate experience so that the relationship will be smoother. Larger companies are also interested in strategic issues such as the marketing and growth strategy of the new venture. Usually, these companies they will want to know what will happen between the relationship between the process in the business. Proof of concept demonstration. As part of the preparation for writing a business plan, you will want to ensure that you have a way to demo that you have proved your business concept. That is that you can provide evidence that customer is sufficient number what they what the numbers want what you are offering. There are various types of proof of concept, and each has a different strength of evidence it provides. You should not settle on one, but instead move through the entire spectrum with one POC, proof of concepts. Build it on the next until critical mass is achieved and you're confident that the business can survive. This is common practice. Okay. The proof of concept pyramid. So working on prototype, like what you are doing for your FIP, you are building the prototype and the letter of intent for beta test. So remember you have alpha test, you have beta test. Alpha test is among you and then the beta test is the crowd will be more. Right? And then you go to the final product after you get all the comments from the audience, then you will improve some here and then you will get the final product and then purchase order and then customer sales. Sometimes when you are in the beta test, everything was okay, and then when you start to sell, something is not right, it's coming in. Okay, so this order also can be a bit dynamic too. Okay, the process. Achieving proof of concept with a prototype. Demo proof of concept with a prototype has a number of important benefits. First, to develop a clear understanding of customer need. that you put the prototype in their hands and watch how they use it. Changes in the prototype can be made in the earlier process when changes are less costly. So that's why you need to have your alpha test to beta test. Right? Doing a prototype reduce the risk of failures. It can be the failures can be happen, but the chances is small. Achieving proof of concept with a website and enhanced beta site can communicate to visitors what the business does, who its customers are, and what its value proposition is. Remember, value proposition, what makes your product different from your competitor. Can inform users about the founding team, the company's mission and goals, disclose to potential investors, customers, and other interested parties how to contact the business, can communicate to customers or users the look and feel of the site without demo, the full function, will tell you whether people are interested, how much time they spend on the site, how often they come back, and whether they communicate with the company. um Engagement nowadays, can people, if you are using um IG, Instagram, so people are looking on the engagement, how many times people are coming back to your site, to your page. Okay, so that would be the new way as well. In other words, it will prove that it's worth the time and money for you to build one a more elaborate site. Uh, Proprietary information that is not protected by patent or trademark should not be put on a beta site because companies regularly pre-use the internet for information on their competitors. Okay, remember, anything that is you think that need to be protected, you have to avoid it from being from showing them it during the beta test. In fact, you should study the website of your competitors for important clues about what features you should build into your own site and how you might improve on what your competitors are doing. So again, similar as what you are doing for your final year project, for those who are develop the apps on the website, your supervisor will definitely ask you to look around. What else? What about others? Developers have done for their apps. So basically, the steps that you are doing in your final year project more or less are similar as whatever you've learned in this class. Achieving proof of concept with purchase order and customer sales. For some types of products, securing a purchase order or actual sale is very possible. This allows a customer to save on inventory costs and manufacturing costs. Starting with a compelling story, today most investors want to set a well-written executive summary that tells a compelling story and drags their interest. An important argument for developing an executive summary and pitch is that it forces entrepreneurs to identify and focus on the most persuasive aspects of the business. An effective executive summary and its associated pitch, which may be in the form of PowerPoint, deck, or presentation, will be the following. First, convey the compelling story quickly and memorably. Highlight the critical elements that provide a competitive advantage, and highlight the various proof of concept that have been achieved. Present a coherent path to profitability and success. Demonstrate that the team can successfully execute the plan. So these are the essential questions. What pain is being addressed and who has it? How is your venture? What is your venture's competitive advantage? Can you, can the founding team execute the plan? What is now the right time? Why is now the right time to launch this venture? What is the team seeking from investors? So the first question, how will you grab my attention? It is vital to lead with the most persuasive reason for the existence of the business. Leading with the compelling reason solve the problem of grabbing attention at the first 50 seconds and make sure that the investor and others need to hear is upfront and obvious. Grabbing attention at the start of the executive summary means your reader will likely not tune out when we start to get into the details. So this is very important, especially when you want to ask money from institution. Okay, most probably they will ask you to do a pitch. So how are you going to grab their attention so that they will give you the money? What pain is being addressed and who has it? Entrepreneurs need to emphasize that they are going to solve very big and very important problem because big problem translate to large market. That is the proposition, is the relationship. Big, very important problem will will solve the large market issue. If you did your customer discovery and validation work effectively, you discovered a total available market, TAM, a serviceable available market sum, okay. So if you did your customer discovery and validation work effectively, you will discover these three things. These three things. TAM, sum, and SOM. Okay? Entrepreneurs always start with the TAM, total available market, because it's the easiest to calculate, being simply the total size of the market for whatever you are selling. Initial market, first customers or SOM are always those for which the pain is greatest. It's easy to find the number for your TAM and SUM and forecast being on historical data. However, the SOM will require a bottom-up forecast that includes how you will use your startup resources to reach your sales goal. Okay. This figure show the type of market evaluation, the TAM. Types of market evaluation. The TAM. Total available. Okay. So for the TAM, total available market, total market size, this is your potential at the scale. Example, total market for text message application. SUM, the visible available market, your segment of the market, the portion your business is focused on. Example, messaging over IP. SOM, the visible obtainable market, what share of the SUM can you achieve? This is the short-term sales potential. Example, focus on countries where communication is monitored. So how is your venture solving the problem? You should demo a clear link between the problem of pain and the solution you are offering. What are you provide and how does it specifically solve the problem? What kind of business? Where does it fit in the value chain? If you currently have customers or any proof of concept, now is the time to emphasize this fact. That's why the proof of concept, the POC, is important. It is important to be specific about who your first customer is and how you know that they will buy what you are offering. Getting the customer wrong means there is no business. Okay, so that's why you have to really make sure you are promoting or you are targeting to a right customer. What is your venture's competitive advantage? No venture can succeed in the long term without a sustainable competitive advantage. Not a single competitive advantage, but a bundle of them encompassing every aspect of the business. The executive summary needs to address which advantages will enable this venture to create a unique unserved niche and to enter the market and secure customers with little or no competition in the beginning. In the executive summary, you should be very specific about comparing your offering with a significant competitor. Given the competitor's established brand and position in the market, why would customer choose your company? Next question. Can your venture make money? Important, yes. How will the business create and capture value that will enable it to make money over the long term? Because we want to create a money not only for first year when we start venture. We want to make money for the rest of our life, right? So in general, value is created when the business is adequately capitalized and has highly regarded investors, experienced management team, customer, a unique technology, ability to continue innovate and rapidly expanding market. Once your new venture has passed startup stage, additional value is created by its position in the market, significant customers, effective operating system, a strong gross margin, positive cash value, and high return on equity. These are the questions that these are the questions that most investor or lenders love to ask. How much money is needed to address this opportunity? How will the capital will be allocated? At which milestone? How will the business provide the ROI? Which exit strategies are possible? So the exit strategies is also important because this will shows that you know what is going on with your business. Okay, there are times that we know that we cannot project anymore, we cannot proceed anymore, so we must have the exit strategy. Okay. Next, in terms of the team, so we have looked into the money just now. So now the question is, can the founding team execute the plan? So what is this? The question that you can see here. What is the founding team the best team to execute this concept? You have to answer the question. Can it be demo that the founding team has the experience and skill? Do the founders have their own money invested in this concept? Does the team have the patience and the drive to make this business a success? Next question, why is now the right time to launch this venture? What makes this concept so valuable right now? If this business is the only one of its kind, why is that so? Has anyone tried this before and failed? If so, why? What makes the current environment right for this venture? So, oh my God, for this question, you can just imagine with what happened during COVID-19 vaccine issue. So, perhaps this question was being asked, why we should have the vaccine, why our country must bought the vaccine at that time, because it's urgency, right? So these are the important question to be asked. What is the team seeking from investors? A finely honed executive summary is needed whether or not you are seeking investor capital. Do not include any language about equity, stakes, or return or investment for the investor. So guideline for executive summaries, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are these 8 executive summary that is very important for you to know when you do the pitching. Um, avoid, I love this one. Avoid buzzword and phrase such as no one else is doing this. If let's say no one else is doing this, then there might be perhaps something. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be bad, right? So, but in most cases, for the product, if no one is doing that, then might be perhaps there is no demand. So investors or lenders might be not interested to invest in your company. Okay, avoid jargons and acronyms. Explain the business in words that anyone can understand. Use analogies if they help the readers or listeners to quick understand your business. Keep the pitch deck to about 10 slides that contain only the key points in large font. Use graphics and high quality photos. Well, you can use this advice for your proposal presentation for your FIP, by the way. Okay? Mm, these are business jargon to avoid. Think out of the box, lots of moving parts, ducks in a row, core competency, leverage, buy-in, core values, unpack and strong. Preparing the full business plan, strategy and structure. Huh? Preparing the full business plan, strategy and structure. The most effective business plan focuses on telling a story about the business in a clear and compelling manner, provide evidence to support claims made, and giving the readers enriched picture of the strategy the company is taking as it grows. These are the outline of the business plan. Mm, the business, industry, market analysis, product and service development plan, founding team, operation plan, organization plan, marketing plan, financial plan. So these are the outline for the business plan. It's like you are writing a thesis. Component of the business plan, the business. This section provide the key information a reader would want to know about the business so that the rest of the business plan makes sense. This section also introduces the business model, which is the heart of the business. If you already have customers, showcase that here. For the next part, industry and market analysis, what should you present here? The industry is the environmental context for your business. It determines whether the business can be profitable. The market is defined by the customers. Product and service development plan section. This one is to provide a detailed description of your product or service and the timeline for completion of the prototype and final product or service. If you have technology business, you should provide a technology assessment with a technology readiness level, TRL. We have TRL 1 up to 9. Okay? These are the meaning of the TRL from 1 up to 9. For the founding of management team, this section will present the qualification of the team, whether whether your team is experienced, expertise, resources, how the team will cover the critical tasks, what happens if let's say one one of your team is passed away, things like that. So you must have all this plan and you should present it here. Organization plan, this section discuss the legal form of organization that venture will take, whether that be as a sole, proprietorship, partnership, LLC or corporation. Operation plan, this will contain a detailed description of the business operation, including those processes that the new venture will own, and undertake in-house, and those that will be outsourced to a strategic partner. A major portion of this section explain how the business will operate, where it will get its raw material, how a product will be manufactured, what type and quantity of labor will be required to operate the business. Then the next section, the marketing plan, is a strategy for communicating the company's message, developing awareness of the product or service, and enticing the customer to purchase. For the marketing plan, it includes discussion of the brand purpose, market niche, identities, business identity, tools that will be used to reach the customer, media plan for specific market tool and marketing budget. Financial plan, this section demonstrates the financial viability of the venture and explain the assumptions you made in doing the forecast. Designed to show that all the claims about the product, sale, marketing strategy, and operations can work financially to create a business that can survive and grow over the long term. The business plan begins with a summary of the key metrics for the business: time to positive cash flow, break even and sales volume, capital requirements to launch the business. Fundamental, it presents a snapshot of the entrepreneur prediction for the immediate business of the future of the business. A statement of cash flow must be provided here in this section because it provides information on changes in the company's cash account through inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalent associated with the daily operation of the business. There are operating cash inflow, non-operating cash flow, cash outflow, non-operating cash outflow. So there is two types of inflow, two types of outflow. What is operating cash? What is non-operating cash? Income statement is also known as a profit and loss statement. Provide information for the projected profit or loss status of the business for a specified period of time. Usually, we will use this income statement for the income tax for a company as well. Okay, and from the income statement as well, we can know whether our business is healthy or unhealthy. So the balance sheet, we call it a statement of financial position, looks at the financial health of the business at single point in time with a given date. Ratios, compare items in the financial statement and convert them to relative terms so they can be compared to the same ratio in other period or in other companies. The following are 5 of the most common tools used to measure liquidity, debt, and profitability. Current ratio, so this is the formula for the current ratio. Total current asset over total current liabilities. Liabilities ni macam hutang lah And then second, profit margin. So how to calculate the profit margin? By percentage net income over net sales. 3, return on investment or ROI. This ratio provides a measure of the amount based on the earning. So the formula for the ROI is net income over shareholders' equity. 4, inventory turnover. The formula for this one is cost of goods sold over average inventory. Number 5, break-even analysis is equal to total fixed cost over selling price minus variable cost unit. The growth plan section discuss how you plan to take your business from startup through the various stage of growth and outline the strategy. So basically, this is your plan for your company. Contingency plan and harvest strategy. Yes, this is important as well, so that we know that you are having a plan if you cannot move forward. This presents a potential risk scenario, usually dealing with situations such as unexpected high and or low growth or changing economic conditions. The macro factors just now we discussed. And then for each situation, suggest a plan to minimize the impact on the new business. The harvest or exit strategy is the plan for capturing the wealth of the business for the founder and any investors. Timeline to launch. The business plan should contain a graphic that depicts the timeline to launch a critical milestone that take the business from its current status to first customer. So we can imagine this as gancat lah, yeah. Appendices are the appropriate place to put items that support your claim. Endnotes are simply the link citations to materials in the main body that of reports that were gathered from sources other than the entrepreneurs, and not ni macam references lah in your thesis later on. So this is the timeline to launch your planning and design, testing, validation, launch group to prepare, and then launch your business. Timeline for a business that has launched. Okay, so business stuff, this is an example here. 1st November 2015, full e-commerce completed 15, complete product ready 27. So you can see the difference between timeline to launch and timeline for a business that has launched. So you can see that this one is more detailed. You have the date there and you have the activities that happen. For this one, they start to launch 1st November. Full e-commerce site completed 15 November 2015, and then the list goes on. Oh my, okay. Okay, so you have successfully prepared for your business plan. So now it's for you to do the pitching. For entrepreneurs seeking outside investment capital, it is not uncommon to be asked to do pitch or presentation designed to persuade or promote the value of the business. Usually, the pitch occurs after potential funders have reviewed the executive summary and determined that it's worth their time to hear from the entrepreneur. It's hard actually for the funders to call you in and give the presentation unless they are interested to your business plan. Okay. The pitch should answer the fundamental question in the section on creating a compelling executive summary. Usually, they will just want to know more, or perhaps they have question, or they just want to see you. Okay. The pitch should take the audience attention in the first 15 to 30 seconds. This is usually accomplished by conveying the compelling story of the pain or problem in the market, the magnitude of the pain, and how the new venture will cure or solve that pain for the customer. So these are some guidelines for the effective pitch, which you can also use this one for your proposal defense. Okay, so this for the answering question section. Investor generally like to ask questions to which they already know the answer. This is to test whether the founding team knows what it's talking about or whether it is making up answers spontaneously. Okay, this is happened more time last night. Okay, they just want to know whether you are really have knowledge or not in whatever you present, in whatever you propose. Investors often ask questions that either require an impossible precise answer or are so broad that it's hard to tell what they are looking for. If investor asks a factual question to which you do not know the answer, you should admit that you don't have the answer off the top of your head, but you'll be happy to find after the meeting is over and get back to the questionnaire. For those who are going to present for your FIP proposal, please take note for the third part. Okay, so it's okay just to say that you don't know about that rather than you making up your answer during the proposal ataupun masa you punya final presentation nanti. Okay. The type of question that poses the most problem for the founding team is the inordinately complex one that contains several underlying assumptions. So this is the example here. If the pitch or anything team has proposed is criticized by investors, you should be careful not to be defensive or to turn the criticism in a way on the audience. Ini penting juga. Okay. Final thought on business plan. Prepare and pitch a business plan are the culmination of mind, of world, and represent the heart and soul of a new venture. It must be doing together with your team. Establish a purpose, values, and goal. Even successful entrepreneur will have started business without a written plan, have had the right business plan when they need growth capital, a government grant or credit line from a bank. Okay, so this is why we need a business plan to gather money to grow our business. The important thing to remember is that a business plan is a living document that will no doubt undergo numerous changes over the life of the business. So that's all for chapter 7. Uh, okay. So I think for chapter 9, we will